Hello everyone. If you've seen my videos before, you know that I'm into me stoves. I saw the Firebox Freestyle and I thought to myself, do you know what? I've just got to buy it. I've bought the titanium version with the additional gubbins. I've had a really good play around with it. And today what I'm going to do is answer a lot of questions I've thought of that I've not seen the answers to. And also I've come up with a different configuration which I think is absolutely brilliant, which nobody else seems to have done so far. So I'm going to show you that. The configuration I'm going to show you is the one where you take out the two number 1 panels and you end up with a 6-sided stove. Yes, I know you've seen this before, but this is going to be different, I promise with you. Stick with it and you'll be surprised. So you take off the number 1 panel from each one and then you lay the number 2 up against the number 2. And they go together like so. This is the bit that you've seen before, everybody else has done. I know, I appreciate that. We're nearly there. Now, when I use this, I don't want to be taking it apart all the time and sticking it back together to get it like a Firebox 4-sided configuration and then move it into a 6-sided configuration by playing around with it. So watch this. What I've worked out is that if you unfold this side, that gives you a Firebox configuration with 4 sides, and these 2 additional panels at the back, they just fold on. So what you can do then is take your fire sticks, push them all the way through, and that binds the back together. Hopefully you can see that there. And then your 4-sided firebox complete. So without adding any other sides or taking them off, you can then pull that out and go straight to your 6-sided hexagon. So for me, that setup would work extremely well, because I wouldn't want to perhaps have this as a 6-sided stove all the time. Sometimes if I just want a cup of coffee or whatever, I just want the 4-sided. So for me, doing it like this, oh, pins come out, get back in there little man, there we go, keeping it together like this would give me multiple options without fiddling around with it too much, which I thought was absolutely genius. When I first saw the Firebox Freestyle in this configuration, it reminded me of a honey stove on steroids. And that in effect is what it is. It's a honey stove on steroids. If you're not familiar with a honey stove, it's made in the UK and it's got panels and the panels slot together and it's got a base to it. It's a very versatile piece of kit and it's super lightweight. This is the titanium version. They also do an expansion pack to turn it into what they call a hive stove. I'll put it together and I'll show you something else. The honey stove with the expansion pack, an extra 2 panels to turn this into a hive stove, is pretty much identical in size to the Firebox Freestyle with 6 panels. And the size of the burn chamber is reasonably comparable. So if, like me, you was wondering, is there a direct comparison between the two stoves? Hopefully this has answered the question for you. With the 6-sided configuration folded flat, you can still get your pins on top. You could either put it over all of the sides, or if you didn't want to do that, you can bring them back a little bit, and that all goes together beautifully with the little grate. Got a spare. And it still fits in the tin, albeit, let's try that way round, just about fits in the tin, although you might need another Ranger band on top to keep it together. I put this back to the 4-panel configuration just for the purposes of this next bit. With just the one stove in its box, it won't fit into the 8-inch deep Cowboy Pan. However, if you take it out and place it in with the extra grill on top, it fits in there beautifully. That was another question I asked myself before I bought this, so hopefully that helps you out. If you happen to own the 10-inch version of the Firebox frying pan with the cowboy plate, then that fits in there beautifully. I also wanted to show you some weight. This is the titanium Firebox with 4 pins and the ash pan with the large plate on top, the inside bag and the cauldron case, and you can see that comes to 679 grams or 1 pound 8 ounces. So when we compare the Firebox Freestyle with the case and also the canvas bag, that comes to 485 grams or 1 pound 1 ounce. So you're saving yourself 7 ounces in weight by going for the titanium version of the Freestyle. Right, I'm going to be a little bit controversial now. The outer box, which you can use for an ash pan, I'm not a massive fan of for what I want to use this for. So I would be tempted to go with the units and the wire rack and keep it in the canvas or cotton bag, and then I'm down to 305 grams or 10.8 ounces. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the case come ash pan. What I'm saying is it may not suit everybody for every situation. Sometimes you could leave this at home and save a little bit of weight. Other times it would be really useful to take with you. So to briefly sum up, the Firebox Freestyle is an absolutely fantastic piece of kit. You couple that with the additional racks and you've got so many options. I've only just scratched the surface with the little bit I've done today. I went for the titanium version of these, which was absolutely ridiculously expensive, and I also paid the import duty etc. to bring it into the UK. However, for me personally, if I would have bought the stainless steel version, I would have always regretted it. So I bit the bullet and I went for the titanium for a couple of reasons. One is the weight, and two, I just love the titanium. It seems to stay cleaner. It doesn't rust. It's got a beautiful blue colour as well once you've used it a few times and got it nice and hot. So for me, the titanium, although it's really expensive, it was an absolute no-brainer. Hopefully I've answered some of the questions you was thinking of yourself. But if you've got any ideas, etc., feel free to leave something in the comments. I've also, by the way, I've got another idea for this, which I'm going to try out, and I'll possibly make a video very soon about it. Thanks for watching, everybody. InfoShed out.